Coach, just second game in a row where you really seemed like you did it with defense. Is that a sign of your team getting better as the season goes on?
I thought we really did compete really hard defensively against the team. They put you in a lot of tough situations with their offense. They run it hard. We know they're capable of what they can do from the three-point line, but they cut hard to the basket. And I thought overall it was good. We, again, didn't do a great job on the boards, offensive boards anyway. They got some, and they took advantage of it when you think about it. But overall, I thought we really did really try to compete hard on the defensive end, and I think even offensively. I thought they were changing defenses. They had shows on one pass go man and try to keep us off rhythm that way. But overall, I thought that other than where we got sloppy on the offensive end with the ball, a couple turnovers, and we still have to understand. I think the last 4 minutes of the first half, I don't think the ball ever hit the post. A couple of times we were up, 16, 18 points, and allowed them to go on, 7-0 run, 5-0 run, but you got to give them credit for that. They stayed with it. But overall, it was a good win against a good basketball team. It's really hard to play against.
Coach, Mike White had pretty high praise for Jordan Bowden. How have you seen him improve from the last time you played Florida to tonight?
Well, he has gotten better. He tweaked his ankle a little bit in the first half, and he wasn't able to, or he didn't feel as comfortable trying to push it like he did. You saw early in the first half he showed a great burst of speed, but he seized the floor. He made a couple really great passes. He made one from the top key that was a silly pass. That one he tried to throw in, he held the ball, and I don't care how you throw that pass, it's not going to get there. But we had a few of those. But Jordan's going to keep getting better. I thought defensively, again, he locked in. And I really, defensively, I looking at it right now, in my mind, I think we did defend well. But when he's pushing the ball and doing what he does, that's when we're at our best offensively.
Corey, Mike, Steve, and Jake.
Rick, Florida goes on a run, cuts the deficit to single digits, and then Monta and Admiral really seem to get the crowd going. Is that something you just expect from them at this point when you guys need a spark?
Well, it is, but again, we went through that period there where the ball didn't touch the post, and it doesn't have to be throwing it in there to Admiral or Grant or Kyle. Kyle had a couple of nights that he needs to finish for us, but the guards need to drive it too. And in the first half in transition, they picked up 2 charges where we didn't play off 2 feet, but. Yeah, we still have to just be aware of times where we're not putting the ball in there, and we got to put it there. And at that point in time, again, we were really trying to play through Admiral and get him the ball, and whether it was 15 feet facing up and letting him drive it or whatever it may be.
Rick, was that as solid as you've gotten from Jalen and Derek defensively this season?
I thought they were terrific, and I really thought Derek. I thought those 3 guys came in and did exactly what we needed them to do. And, when Eve would obviously play some of those minutes, it's still it's a compliment to those guys in our team that they were ready when the moment came. And they, again, I thought they were really, I thought Jalen, when he came in, and I think he got maybe our first 3 were out of our flow game. He drove it hard middle and kicked out to the corner. And again, defensively, I thought Florida made a conscious effort to go at him when he was out there. And I thought he handled himself pretty well, and I thought his teammates helped him.
With Eve, is there any update there? Any potential time?
Yeah, he's back. He's got a swelling, as you can imagine, where they had to go in and push that bone back out. But I think today the plan was at some point in time they were going to make the mask. He'll have to wear it for a little bit. So again, I think he'll be ready by Wednesday.
Coach, this one gave you your longest win streak of your career so far. What does it mean to be able to have that just with this team, with the chemistry and the bond that they have?
Well, I think you guys know how much love we have for this team and the fact that they've worked hard for what they've gotten. But in terms of win streaks, somebody asked me that out there on the radio, and the fact of the matter is I just say let's win the next one. Let's try to win the next game, because their wins are hard to come by at any point in time. The fact that they've done what they've done, they get the credit for it. But I've never thought about win streaks or any of that. My mind has a tendency to, I want these guys to enjoy what they're doing, and I'm probably not the easiest guy to let that happen, because I'm always thinking of ways we can get better, and I want to do it right now. But I appreciate their how hard they've competed. Appreciated the fact they do want to get better. They know we can get better. I think they believe, like our coaching staff, that our best basketball is ahead of us. It's not going to be easy, but they're competitive, and where we are, they deserve the credit. Again, our coaching staff's done a great job with game preps, and we got to continue to do it and see what we can improve.
John and Brent.
Rick, following up on the defensive question, it wasn't just the Florida game. You go back to the Missouri game, you've now held 2 opponents to around 35% shooting. So does that make you feel even better about the defense and that it's back-to-back, not just one game?
It does. I think that, we've talked to our guys about, they really, for the most part, have played hard. But I think there's another level, and I think that level is, and we talked about it last night, is competing. How do you take it to another level? Like when a shot goes up, it gets down to how bad you want to go get it and finish the possession. And again, they got some offensive rebounds, but some of them the ball bounced out a couple times where hands were on it. But I do think we're getting more and more locked in, and we're doing a better job of guarding the ball. Our ball screen coverage, for the most part, was good. And I think it goes back to where they've locked in on our scouting report, and they get locked into what we have to do. And as you play more games, after you've played 23 games and exhibition games, what pushes it up to 25, you would expect us to continue to improve in those areas. And we've got to keep getting better.
Coach, you mentioned some of the long rebounds, but the offensive rebounds that you're giving up, are you out of position? Is that effort? Is that overly concerning for you about what you're giving up offensively?
Well, I think we're getting pushed under a little bit too much. I think we're not checking and blocking out, and the balls. And you're playing against a team tonight that shot 26 threes, and most of the time when you give up 3 offensive possessions, 3 rebounds, I think in one possession, they ended up hitting the 3. I think they missed one close in, kicked out, missed a 3, then got it again and made a 3 early in the first half. So that's 3 of them on one possession. And I think anytime you're giving up offensive rebounds, you're concerned about it. We've given up 29 in 2 games now, and and I think coaches are looking at it. I don't think there's any question. They're like, hey, let's get to the glass on these guys. They do a good job with it. And they themselves have made a conscious effort since our last time we played them at really getting to the offensive glass. And they have to look at that and feel like from their game plan that they did a good job there. But we've talked about it, and that's something that we can clean up, and we're going to have to clean up.
Rick, I know it can be hard to kind of compare things like this, but is this about as well as Bowden's played on a consistent basis in a while the past few weeks? I mean, it looks like he's finally being as aggressive as y'all want him to be when he gets the ball.
Well, he has, and again, as a group, when you look out there, these guys have played a lot of games together now, and those guys are juniors, and he's been there. But his attitude's been really good in terms of his mindset going into what he needs to do. He's always been a guy you can pretty much count on. I think the first 3 tonight they got, he let it go, and I don't know what happened, how he let Kavar get open like he did. I mean, I don't know how that happened. I mean, it really shouldn't happen early, but yeah, Jordan Bowden, he's a worker, and I think he's enjoyed coming off the bench. I really do. I think he's enjoyed that part of it, but he's coming in, being aggressive, and that's what you need with a guy, 6-man coming off the bench, whether he's aggressive offensively or defensively. But he's playing good basketball, but I know that, again, he's got better days ahead of him.
Coach, with the schedule going into February now, I mean, are you starting to sense maybe from the players that there's, it's time now that we lock in? We've only got a few games left in the regular season. Let's lock in and start getting ready for the postseason. Well,
I think they've been locked in. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the year. I mean, our non-league schedule, whether you talk about out in Phoenix, New York, I think they have. But I think they realize that teams are getting better, and, we've got to get better. I don't think there's any question in their mind that they know we've got to get better, and they work hard. They're competitive, but we've got to take that part of it to another level. There's no doubt. But that's what happens with everybody this time of year. The teams that keep playing, and our schedule, like everyone in this league, is going to be a really demanding schedule coming down the stretch. We've already played 2 teams twice. And I think we'll end up playing Vanderbilt twice before we even play, I think, Mississippi State, Mississippi, LSU, those teams, which is a little bit different, but that's the way the schedule lays out right now. But again, I think they're locked in. But again, like I said, we've got to continue to get better, and I think we will.
Finish up with Joe.
Yeah, Rick, what do you think this team has done, is doing for Tennessee fans?
Well, I think our fans have done a lot for us too, and I've said before, it's an incredible fan base to be with, and I think they enjoyed watching this team grow together. I think that's one thing. They've watched them grow up. There was a lot of fans that have been here 4 years ago when we were losing, but yet I can remember our first year here walking off the floor at our last home game, and our fans were just telling us that they appreciate how hard these guys had played as young guys, but you know, I think our fans have embraced these guys, and which is great. I mean, our arena, there can't be a better setting in the country than what we have here right now. It can't be. I mean, it's awesome. And you go back to everything we're doing from the time we start, and I think our guys understand it's not just because you're playing at home. It's not going to be easy, and it's not. But again, I really appreciate our fans. I know our players do too, and I really believe our fans appreciate the fact that these guys have grown up and they continue to work, and I think they expect them to work hard and continue to get better.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.